Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Rassan from the We Ain't Them podcast, along with my co-host Ebony.
Hi, everybody.
Before we get started today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're on the go, check us out on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Um, so let's just jump straight into it. Eb, how you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm cool. Ready for this episode. Ready to discuss this topic.
All right.
It's been on
Well,
my mind for a while.
yeah, it has been. Unfortunately, Kwan couldn't be with us today.
Mm.
He's feeling a little under the weather, so get well soon, brother. But yeah, it's this topic has definitely been on my mind for a while. So let's just jump into it, which is needing more blackness. The reason we call it needing more blackness is this. As you may not realize, a couple weeks ago, Atlanta, unfortunately, ended after 4 seasons. When asked about it, Donald Glover said he felt it was necessary to finish after 4 seasons. He feels like all beginnings must have an end, and the end was very short. So yeah, it kind of sucks. But overall, how did you feel about the series in general, Eb?
Man, let me tell you, Atlanta, Donald Glover, you did an amazing job. Let me tell you. I can't get over how creative the whole entire series in and of itself was, and how he was able to just push that envelope of creativity. The definition, it was purely the definition of Afro surrealism. He definitely dug into his Jordan Peele bag at times, and he definitely just gave us just a collaboration of comedy. There was like a Seinfeld kind of thing to it, just like a story about a show about nothing almost, just chilling in the crib, going to get some food, getting into situations that made no sense at times. It was just a creative project, and I really enjoyed it.
I mean, I feel from a millennial's point of view, I think that this show was just amazing. It's just I really can't say anything else about it. It just did everything for me.
Mhm.
It just the plots, the confusion, the mixed signals, everything about it, it was just on point.
Mhm.
You know, kudos to Donald Glover, kudos to Lakeith
For
Stanfield,
real.
kudos to Brian Tyree Henry. Um, Shout out to Zazie Beats.
I love Zazie. She was amazing.
Um, but I'm just gonna give y'all a spoiler now. So if you don't want to hear it, I got 5 seconds to turn this video off or turn your audio off. All right. All right.
One.
All right. That's not my problem no more.
If you're
So
still on, fuck you. We're gonna
what?
talk about
No,
it.
no, no, no. Not fuck
Yes.
you. But
We gave
regardless
them
of
five
what,
minutes.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. My apologies.
You out here wilding. But to be honest about it, let's just jump straight into the finale. The series finale had huh, had one of the more crazy cliffhangers that you can possibly see in a series, and it really is about Darius, the character Darius.
Hmm.
Pretty much him pretty much saying that this was all a dream, this was all a simulation. This whole series in general, this wasn't really happening in real time. Just
Hmm.
pretty much saying that this was all his dream, and it also makes it seem like these characters aren't necessarily real.
Yeah. And that was bittersweet because throughout this all the seasons, the character development was on point. So to see that this was all these people don't even exist. This is all in Darius's head. Like that was what made it so bittersweet. And it also to me, it proved to me that Darius was that nigga. Throughout the whole, he was always my favorite character, and I think he was a fan favorite for a lot of people. But what I really just to think about season 1 to just the very last season, and even the season prior to that where it had nothing to do with the characters, you could just it just made sense. Like all of this was going on in his head, all these themes, all these topics, just the I don't know, like, I'm at a loss for words, like, I thought like, it was kinda, like I said, bittersweet because you grow to love Paperboy, you grow to love Van, you grow to love Earn, you grow to love all these people, but they were just figments of his imagination, which is also just to show how intricate his thoughts were.
But besides that, I think that Earn, especially in season 4, showed his growth,
Mhm.
but still showed his pettiness.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, my favorite episode, I think, I probably will say of all time, is the pettiness that Earn showed when he went to therapy
Bruh.
and ruined this one white woman's entire life.
Yo, and
Like,
he took his time. That's you know how much money and effort that took?
that's so petty. I want to, like, if
You know how
I could
much
be,
people he paid? How much people did he pay to do he had to pay off the woman at the bookstore. He had to pay off all the children. He had to pay off all these people that surrounded this woman. He paid all those people to ruin this woman's life.
and I don't even think the flight attendant situation, like when they were when she was trying to get on the flight, I
Mm.
don't think that was on purpose. I think it just happened that
It
way.
just happened that way, but like he just wow, I would never want to be on like his bad side ever.
I don't know. Ern just really showed and proved why he's my favorite character. And just to back it up, I would also say, Al Paperboy, he is one of my, well, all of them, they're all my favorite characters for their own reasons.
Yeah.
If I look at Ern is more of the business type. He just wants to make sure that his business is good. Van, she's just trying to figure out herself.
Mm.
And I think that's why I think all of these characters, they all match us as millennials. Where
Mhm.
we know somebody who's all about their business, who's always trying to make sure that their business is best. With Van, you always have that one friend that's always trying to figure out which path they're going to, and they may seem lost, but they'll figure it out
Yep.
sooner than later. Uh, I feel like with Al, you have that person who they get hit with so much stardom that they have a lot of pressure on themselves, and they don't really know where to go, but then they kind of try to seclude themselves, and that's technically what Al did when he found a little site for himself, a little place and a little farm where
The
he can
farm.
enjoy himself. And then Darius, who I know more than one friend who they literally are the definition of being in their own world, being in their own, seeing
Everybody
their own
has
vision,
yeah.
and you can appreciate that because
Mhm.
all these type of people you kind of need in your life, and I can appreciate that. One of the other things that I can appreciate about Atlanta is the side stories that they told. So
Yeah.
in the side stories that they told different things where it was about color, like being a color person, being a light skinned person, being a dark skinned person, where it's like the Disney one, like
Yo, that episode.
the Disney one
Yeah,
about a Goofy movie
that
and
was really
how
good.
black it was. Like that's amazing.
People really did not know that. Like just to have like he brought that to the forefront. And you know what I really loved is the fact that like me, I that was one of my favorite Disney movies growing up. People clown me for it. Like, hey, over King, what's the name of that movie?
Lion King.
Lion King.
No,
Like
a Goofy
it
movie
does
was for
not
the
it
black
doesn't
people.
it doesn't top it, of course not, but it's one of my personal favorites. And I'm glad he brought that to the forefront because people don't realize, like, yo, Tevin Campbell did the fucking soundtrack.
Yeah,
Like,
he was the
hello.
man. He was the man that. So he did it all. What else? The different characters he did. I know that in a couple of weeks or a couple months, that Tyler Perry type episode, the Mr. Chocolate episode,
Ooh, I
I know
love
that's gonna
that
get
episode
banned
too.
because it happened with the Boondocks
He
when
didn't
they
nah, he didn't say nothing. Nobody, it didn't
he
cause
didn't
that
s-
much
he didn't
controversy.
maybe because he's just getting tired of it because everybody
Yeah.
clowns him,
Yeah.
but like, and I guess it wasn't as bad because with the Boondocks comparison, the Boondocks episode was pretty much trying to say that, Tyler Perry's playing all these characters like a woman, dressing like a woman, and he might be
Mhm.
gay on the low. With this
Mhm.
one, it makes it look like Tyler Perry's just a cult leader and everybody's just following him with these bum ass wigs and these crazy ass stories with these insecure people. So it's a lot
Yeah.
different. So it's two different sides. So I'm guessing that's why Tyler Perry didn't really care as
I
much.
think no, I think he cared. He just didn't say nothing because the Boondocks challenged like all the salacious things, like all the things that people will say about Tyler Perry, like the elephants in the room, right? You know how people kind of perceive him outside of the goodness of what he has done in for the culture, right? Whereas Atlanta challenged the work ethic of Tyler Perry. Period. They didn't go into the, oh, he might be gay, oh, the Christianity, oh, da 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 da. Like, I mean, they did bring up Christianity in that episode, but they challenged the work ethic and how he just took Van's child
And just made something out of
and
it.
just boom, 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 boom. You couldn't even find her at one point, you know? And everybody was like, anytime you ask somebody, like, yo, where is my child? I don't know. Like, I don't even know what's going on here. We're just making movies and making movies. Like, you know?
It's like a cult following
Yeah.
thing. And that's
It's not a cult following. It's not a cult following.
eh,
Tyler Perry does not have a cult following.
it's not a cult following. He has a cult.
He,
He might have cult leading mentalities,
yeah.
but that's neither here nor there. I'm not gonna really get into it. So now this kind of leads into the next thing that I really wanted to say. Now we noticed that a lot of our favorite series they end up cutting short. Now besides Atlanta, with the quote that Donald Glover said, we also have Insecure. Now, everybody loved, and I mean loved Insecure.
Period.
However, Issa Rae said, you know what? I feel like at this point she said she only wanted to go up to, I believe it was 5 seasons, and she wanted to stop. So that was her main goal. So everybody, I guess, mainly has a goal because when they look at it, they go, you know, we don't want to go overboard and we don't want to kill a show. So this is the point where they go. Like they stop right here. So with that happening, now we don't have that many network-based shows, black shows, except Abbott Elementary right now.
Mm.
Most of these shows are on apps. They're on Peacock. They're on
AMC
Hulu.
Plus.
They're on AMC Plus. So you got Sherman Showcase on AMC Plus.
Which is very annoying, might I say.
Why is it annoying?
Because like it should have stayed on Hulu. I'm sorry,
I agree.
I'm being very stingy. Like I didn't want to have to purchase AMC Plus when I already had Hulu.
I mean, it might show up later on. Who knows?
I really hope it does because this
is what
nonsense.
it is. But regardless of that, you know, everything's on a streaming platform, and that's mainly because what you see in the networks now, in the major networks, a lot of things are on a decline. Like a lot of viewership is not going past like 10 million viewerships, like views on television.
Yeah,
Because everything's on a streaming platform.
that's true.
With that being said, there's still not enough, I think, great black sitcoms because a lot of them get canceled. I would say, for example, like Keenan was one, two seasons,
Yeah,
done, one and done.
Mm-hmm.
It's two and done. Sorry, Marlon had a show, two and done. These are all shows that just they don't really get that opportunity. Now it doesn't seem like there's a lot
Those
of
were
shows.
also on streaming platforms, right? I think Keenan was on.
They were all on NBC.
No, Marlon was on.
They started on NBC and they ended up on Peacock.
Netflix,
or Netflix or
yeah.
whatever the case is.
Gotcha.
But those are all shows that were on national television.
Mm.
And then after one point, it got cut off.
Okay.
It's done.
Yeah.
Like there's not that many shows that are doing that good. I think Lil Rel had a show.
He did. He
had a show on Fox, cut off. It didn't last.
It didn't. Yeah, that was a very short run for him.
Yeah, a lot of these shows have very short runs, unfortunately. Now maybe it'll go good on streaming networks, but we can't really say. The two most recent shows, comedy based, which is more so they're not really sitcoms where you know you have laughing in the background, is two shows. There's The Bust Down.
Okay, yeah, Bust Down. That's on Peacock.
And Grand Crew. Now, I know both of them have been renewed. Unfortunately for Bust Down, I know there's a little delays because of the passing of
Jack Knight.
Yeah,
Rest in peace.
it was so sudden that nobody really expected it. So I know that right now is on delay, and that's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
And with everything going on, I hope that everybody a part of that crew, I hope that they're still in a mental space where they're able to still come back from this. I know it's going to be hard, but it's hopefully for the better. Hopefully, it gets better. As far as Grand Crew, I know they've been renewed for season 2. I would advise people to watch it. It is amazing,
It's a very good show.
but my question really is like, why does it seem like black sitcoms aren't really hitting like that anymore?
It could be because of viewership. Because like if you brought up Keenan, right? You
Hmm.
brought up Keenan, Marlon. I haven't seen Keenan, but I did watch Marlon with you, and it was not a bad show. It really wasn't. I do think it's because of viewership. Because think about it, Abbott Elementary is also a sitcom, right?
And
It's
it's
a
on
sitcom,
ABC.
and it's
Yeah,
on a national channel, right? ABC. However, it got renewed for a second season. It's still doing good numbers in terms of viewership. So I think it really just boils down to viewership. And because look at it, like Bust Down, I don't think Bust Down got the recognition that an Abbott Elementary got. Same thing
Grand Crew.
with Grand Crew. Like not too many people know about Grand Crew. So it's like, but however they got reprised for a second season. So I really think it's about how the show is pushed forth, and in terms of viewership, it really just
I
boils
can't
down to
even
that.
I disagree to a fault, right?
Why?
Because as you mentioned, two shows that weren't well known were renewed. However,
Hmm.
two shows that were on primetime television on NBC were not.
Yeah, because nobody was watching them.
And they were all over the place. They were noticed, like they were promoted
And
well.
they're very well known people. Keenan Thompson, Marlon Wayans, very well known people.
But those,
Compared to a Sam J or a Jack Knight, a Zach Fox, people don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say they don't know them. That's very disrespectful. But they're not,
their audiences, their
different
audience isn't
audiences.
as big
Yeah,
as a Keenan Thompson who's
yeah,
been around for decades, a Marlon Wayans who's been around for
for
decades.
decades.
So like I get you
Yeah,
in that retrospect. And it is a little bit hard because now all of a sudden now you have Quinta Brunson who is now
who's
a
killing it?
complete knockout. What
Yeah,
she really knocked it out the park with Abbott Elementary. But I think the big difference is that they're trying to. I can honestly say it's not that they're black sitcom shows. Is that they're really trying to do like these sitcoms where you have the audience in the back and doing that laughter stuff. It doesn't work like that anymore. Those shows don't really hit like that anymore. I don't think so.
you are you just talking about the effect or just that style of show?
Yeah, that style of show doesn't hit anymore where you have like the audience in the background and they're trying to laugh and stuff. Like cue the laugh. I don't think that works anymore like that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
it's
true.
it's like how I feel personally. Uh Abbott Elementary in a form is another form or a black form of The Office, except a school version. And I think that style just works more than
It's
anything.
documentary style.
Exactly. And I think that's what works. And I think that's why these shows aren't hitting anymore.
So what you're saying is instead of like a live studio audience, the way they did with like a Martin or
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince, like that live studio, you're saying the styling of the shows is what's causing because like Abbott doesn't have that. Neither does Bust Down, Grand Crew, none of these shows. Even Sherman Showcase, which I've mentioned,
Southside.
Southside, they don't have any of that. It's just like a story in and of itself is just really, really funny.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. I think the biggest problem is they're trying to do this live studio audience. The thing is dead.
Yeah,
It's just a dead
that's dead.
it's a dead theme and you just need to move forward with that.
And by the way, people, we could tell when it's like fake laughter. I think people know when y'all are doing that. So cut it.
Yeah, it doesn't hit like that. It really doesn't. And some people will be like, "Oh, well, it's the audience to blame for it." It's not really the
No, it's
audience.
not.
It's just it's like beating a dead horse. Like like that style hasn't been working over the past couple of years. The only time it works is if you're doing a sketch show
Yeah,
like a SNL.
like SNL.
That would work with that
And
kind
I
of
think they
audience.
need to start bringing that back. Like, I think we need more sketch comedies. I think that would fare well in this day and age. I don't know why I feel that way, but like maybe because I've gotten older and now my affinity for SNL has grown. I don't know if it's because of the material or what, but I do feel like we can benefit. Like, what will work is more sketch comedy. You know what I mean? Like, that would be, I feel like that would get a lot of viewership. And yeah, I don't know. I would like to see like another version of In Living Color again.
Uh,
Yeah.
I think that it can happen. Is it a little bit harder nowadays? Yeah.
I don't know why there's so many black writers out there that's willing to write comedy sketches. I can think of, well, I can't think of five off
I
the
could,
top, but
I
I'm
could
sure I
definitely
can find them.
I could definitely think of five off the top. The only problem is one sadly did pass away. Jack Knight,
He was a writer.
he wrote for Michael Shea. He wrote for Sam J.
Didn't know that.
He wrote for a lot of
I
people.
thought it was the other way around. I thought Sam J did the right. Sam J's a
No,
writer as
she's
well.
also a writer. So
Yeah.
Sam J is another one. Michael Shea is another one. A lot of Keenan was a writer. He was also a writer.
Yeah.
And of course, which most people don't realize, is that Donald Glover started off as a writer for 30 Rock.
Oh yes, that is so true.
So there's a lot of black comedians, actors.
So with all that being said, you don't think we can do another version of In Living, not exactly like In Living Color, but like, you don't think that can happen again? I think it can.
It'll be a tall mountain to climb.
Why?
Mainly because I feel like, actually, there is something like that, but unfortunately, it's not with an audience.
Ooh.
A black lady sketch show.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, a black lady sketch show. That is actually a really good show.
But I just don't think
it got renewed for a second season.
No, second season.
Fam. What?
They're on like their third season.
Well, that's what I mean. It got renewed for another season.
You said a second.
Okay, but I know we watched the second season already. Don't try to play me.
Don't
try
I'm
to
on
play
like
me.
the fourth season, fam. Well, hopefully the fourth season is going to be coming out soon. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I just don't think the live studio audience thing is it anymore.
And there's another black, well, it's not a sitcom, it's a show that got renewed. You sent it to me today.
That's not a sitcom.
It's
not a sitcom.
But it's worth mentioning.
Of course, Bel-Air. But Bel-Air, yeah, Bel-Air, got renewed. It's coming back out in February.
Yep.
Now, here's the problem with that. That is not a comedy.
It's not.
They changed it into a drama, and
it worked.
It worked.
It fucking
definitely worked. And shouts out to Will, and everybody that's there. I thought it was a smart idea. To change it into something different. Because if it was exactly the same, I don't think it would have hit the same way.
I'm glad he didn't because I noticed like another thing with Hollywood in general, the reboot of these sitcoms from like.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm really glad you mentioned that. I need Hollywood to pay attention and pay attention really good. No more reboots. That Half Baked 2 shit, I don't need to know about that.
I'm watching Half Baked 2.
A house party, I didn't need that. No more How Highs. No more of classic movies, especially classic black movies. Y'all just gonna ruin that shit. House Party 3 was already not that good. So House Party 4, LeBron, don't do nothing. Like, leave it alone. I know it's supposed to come out, but fam, you need to let it go.
Wait, LeBron's gonna be in another movie?
LeBron executive produced House Party. I don't know if it's 4 or 5. I think it's 5.
This is why we
and this is what I'm saying, LeBron. This is the best you could do. I was like,
he shouldn't have done it.
No, I'm just saying, LeBron could have just made a whole brand new thing.
He could have.
He got money.
What's the name of that shit he has on HBO? The shop, the barber.
No, listen, the shop is lit. The shop is lit.
I'm not
It's
mad
a smart
at it.
idea.
That's a good idea. We understand you're about to retire after Bronny gets into the NBA. We get it. You're looking for a new revenue stream. Stick to that. Don't do no more. What he did, it was Space Jam 2. Don't do that. That actually upset my childhood.
I'm gonna be honest. LeBron in movies, he's very funny. He is because because it's LeBron. That's the point. Like it's LeBron. He acts like himself, so it's just like it's funny all around.
That's okay. So have him do a role where it's dramatic, and you'll see how goddamn funny he is.
I don't think it would be that funny.
You'll see how goddamn funny he is.
I don't think it would be.
Okay, that's why he's not suited for acting.
Well, you can't really say that because
that's another thing. Can we stop putting people that cannot act in movies? Black Hollywood. I'm so sorry.
Well, as you can see, Beyonce stopped making movies. Beyonce stopped making movies.
Yeah, she got the message.
God.
Beehive, don't come for me. She got the message.
Maybe she did. Who knows? But no, I think that more. Like there's athletes who, like NBA players who like completely ended their career and they still got into movies and acting and stuff like that. There's a few of them. I can't always remember their names, but they have.
That's why let me shut up.
I don't remember. Listen, let's just clarify this.
You can't remember
no. You know why? No, that's a black person thing.
Who, Shaq?
No.
And Kazam?
No, not Shaq. Let me explain to you something. It's Shazam. Don't disrespect Shaq like that. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, black people have this thing of like, they don't know actors' or actresses' name. Like, you got to be like, Christian Bale. Who? Batman. Oh,
that nigga.
Yeah, that nigga. Like, let's not act like that.
No, I don't know who you're, like, honestly.
So,
I don't know.
I can't think of anybody right now.
I know Shaq was Kazam. I know
Shazam. Stop disrespecting Shazam.
The genie with the boombox. He also played another superhero that was not good. And then it was Michael Jordan in Space Jam.
But there's others. There's others that may not have been Hall of Fame worthy, but there are other people who've like even football players. Football players have retired and they've got into acting. I know a few. I cannot think of them on top of my mind because this wasn't what I was thinking about today.
Croy Bierman?
No. And don't
From
say
the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
You're ridiculous. We're not, and that's not funny either.
It is.
Now,
it is.
Okay, so I know people that will listen to this and say, well, you're saying all this about national television. Well, what about All Black? And I'm like, yes, All Black is an app. Yes, we understand that.
My mom has that. Yeah, she likes it.
But I've watched some stuff on All Black. It's very corny.
And I listen.
I
don't know.
It's not original.
But it's
very
not.
corny.
But you see, it's not fair to do that. You see, this is why, like, you still got to give people the opportunity to watch the channel and give it a chance. You can't, like, come on. That's kind of.
Ebony, do you watch All Black?
I don't, but I'm not gonna say it's
so
bad.
I'm
gonna still tell people.
I said some of the shows
it.
is corny. I didn't say it was bad. I just said some of the shows are corny, mainly because a lot of the shows they show this weird stereotype about black people. That's
same thing with Zeus.
Oh, Zeus is another one. Oh man. I mean, I know I'm not supposed to like.
I'm not watching.
Bite the hand that might eventually feed me, but Zeus is shit.
No,
like
the
Zeus
hand that eventually feeds
might
you.
Feed me. Listen, niggas is trying to get endorsements out here. What do you mean?
That's a fact. I can't get
Zeus
into
is Zeus is just ratchet TV at its finest, but it makes black people look so horrible. It really does. If you
know
think
what,
about it.
I can't. You know what? That's true, but I'm not. That's not Zeus's fault. I mean. You chose to be on the show. If you chose to be a contestant on Jocelyn's Whorehouse or whatever the show is called.
Jocelyn's Cabaret.
Cabaret?
Cabaret, yeah.
Yeah, if you chose to be on that, then you chose to be on it. You know what it is. Like
you said Jocelyn's Whorehouse.
I don't know what it's called. I'm sorry. And I don't mean I'm not slut shaming here. I don't know it.
Or Blueface's show. First of all,
he has a show?
Why is that nigga still relevant? I don't understand.
Wait, Blueface has a show?
Yes. He has multiple shows on Zeus. He was looking for love, found love. Now him and the girl was, that's why he's relevant, because of Zeus. Zeus is the reason why Blueface is still relevant right now.
And his girlfriend. Sometimes it takes a woman.
But that's what.
Most
But
times it
how did
takes
she?
a
But how
woman.
did that end up happening? Because she was on the show.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes. There was a show with him, and she was on it, and I think that's how she lost the tooth. Like, and I'm sure that's how they got ratings. And
Exactly. That's exactly how they got ratings. They're popular because of negativity. People thrive off of negativity.
I
Let's
think
call
that's
it for what it
also
is.
that also goes back. It circles back to, why some of these shows don't get the recognition or they don't last as long because people are gravitating more towards salacious content and more towards things that are viral or just that, reality TV, even though I think that also is a dying field too. I
Mm,
mean, but
true.
people want the tea and people want the drama and stuff.
Yeah, because you look at a show like Blackish, right? I give a
Grownish
lot.
did good too.
Yeah, but they're all in the ish field, right?
Yeah,
It was in Kenya Burris, I believe it is.
something like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I
Something like
messed this
that.
up. But
I think
he
it's Kenya Barris. Forgive
yes, I
us.
believe it is. But he was a person that said, "No, I'm not going to do this to my people. I'm going to make my people look like they can be a family." He
Yeah,
bought back
but that's true. But
and he did it.
mm,
You could say what you want to, but Blackish
there's
was.
there's there's some there's some deep rooted things in there in that series
Of
that
course it is, and that's what it's supposed to be. That was what
no, that's the
in a bad
problem.
way. No, I don't want you. Please do not always mention this because I know what you're gonna mention.
I'm not
I,
mentioning it
I,
because
I
that's not what the show is about. That's not what this
it
episode
really
is
isn't.
about.
But and I think
I'm
that
not gonna
I know what you want to say
because
about
we'll
it.
be here all day.
Yeah, but I don't want. But you shouldn't just look at it just like that, right? I feel like you should just. I think that we have this habit of looking at something and then want to like judge it. Like we want to judge it. We're not. We can't be happy for our own folk. We really
Um,
don't.
are you happy for Blueface?
I'm okay. I'm not. I'm talking about positive. When I'm talking about Blackish, right? You want to look at it. I know the angle that you want to go about it because of everybody that was in it, but
Hmm.
I still wouldn't look at it that way. I would just appreciate the fact that hey, we have black people on the show. We have
Yeah, that was also what was said back in like 19 whenever when we only had a certain character for a black woman or a black guy and we just didn't say much like, "Oh, at least we're on television." Like
no,
that's
it's
what you're
not
telling
that. I'm
me?
telling you that we have because it's not just about oh we have black people on the show. We have a show that shows a positive side of black people.
True, but
And
it's
but your thing is, which
mm,
I don't want to really get into,
please don't.
but I'll say it anyway. I think your main concern about that is more so the skin tone. That was your main thing, and I'm just like, I
Amongst
get
others,
it.
it's amongst you think
It's
that's just one dimension. That's a one-dimensional way of approaching it, but that's one of the things. Yeah. That's
but
it's many other things that's problematic.
what else is problematic?
Anyway, moving
What else is
on.
problem? No,
No,
since
moving
you
there's a
since
lot
you
of
said
things
it,
other than the skin tone, we'll be here all day. We're talking about we're talking about black shows that, don't last. I think that the ish, the blackish, the grownish, the mixedish, all of that all kind of did very well. That
it
was a
did.
successful,
Yeah, serious.
yeah. So,
But my whole thing is that
and they were smart. They moved their stuff. Their shows were like, I think Blackish and Grownish is on Hulu.
no, okay. Let's just clarify something.
Hmm.
If you don't know about networking stuff, if you are connected to certain television shows, like NBC is connected to Peacock, ABC is
ABC,
connected to Hulu,
Hulu.
so that's not something that you have to worry about.
Okay.
It's more so I'm talking about national network stuff. And what was Grownish on?
ABC.
There you go.
Yeah.
No,
ABC.
sorry, Grownish was on Peak.
ABC
No, 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 no,
Family.
no, no, no. There's another show, Freeform. That was Grownish.
Oh, I said ABC
Blackish was on
Family.
ABC. I'm
That's how
sorry.
you know I'm getting old.
Yeah.
It's
So
not called ABC
all in
Family
all, you
anymore.
gotta just kind of appreciate that we have these positive shows like and even Abbott Elementary.
I love Habit.
As funny as it is, any black teacher in the US especially, it's not only funny, but it's relatable. It's the struggles that we as staff go to, as educational staff, we go through on a daily basis. The struggles of being in the inner city, struggles of not having the financials, dealing with the nonsense, dealing with the consequences, dealing with parents that may not be there 100%. That's the stuff we deal with all the time. So a lot of this stuff is relatable. With Blackish, I think that it wasn't that it could have been relatable to some people who lived that like high fancy life, or who made it from the bottom and made it to the top. So now we're going to show you how it is on the top, and even on the top, it's a little struggle.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's still it's great shows that are relatable to us.
It is,
and that's why they're so great. If we had black shows that didn't make any sense to us, then of course we wouldn't watch it. Like watching Ratchet TV all the time, that's not always something we know about.
Yeah. There's
It's
more to...
it's funny, and especially when we were younger, it was much funnier. Like Flavor of Love,
Yo,
I Love New York, all that shit was mad
If
funny.
you watch Flavor of Love right now,
But watching it now, it's just in hindsight, like, wow, this is shit. This is real.
like
shit.
I watched a video clip because I don't know why it popped up in my suggestions on YouTube. Yo, I could feel my credit score just depleting. Like it was just like,
my
yo,
soul-
I really got a kick out of this show. It was really funny. It was still funny. Like I feel like New York was like she's icon, I feel, in terms of reality TV.
All in all,
But
I do.
in general, like, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So all in all, I do think that, if we want to have more, more black television based shows on network television like a ABC, not on NBC. I just don't feel like NBC relates to black. It don't hit.
I don't know.
ABC, for some reason, ABC everything hits, but on NBC it's shit. On Fox, it's okay.
also had Modern Family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything on ABC for some reason hits very well.
That's true.
Everything on Fox and NBC, it's like, it doesn't hit that well. I don't know why. But you know what? It is what it is. Before we actually leave today, I wanted to ask you a question. Since it is Thanksgiving coming up, I want to know one thing that you specifically are thankful for.
Life. Period.
Oh, such a fooey answer.
It's not. It's simple. Sometimes less is more. And when you really think of the word life, sit back and think of just the word itself, life, and tell me if it's simple. But to answer your question, I am thankful for life. Period.
You know what? Over the past year, I've already said this last episode, but I'm thankful for this podcast. And I think a lot of people who have podcasts, they're thankful for having what they have. And the main reason it is because it gives them a platform to talk about things that they just want to talk about. It's a free-flowing thing. It's a free-flowing thought that they really want to talk about. And you got some people that, they want to talk about education. Some people that want to talk about sports. Some people that want to talk about sex. Shout out to Horrible Decisions. I'm trying to get trying to get love out here.
Shout out to Horrible Decisions.
And everybody, they have their, flavor of what they have. And the world that we see it now is such an amazing place, especially in media. So now you get all these different selections, and now there's us where we give you your selection of what you want, which at times it may be some serious topics, it may be some funny topics, it may be some shade, it may be some fun. Like at the end of the day, this platform has really made me open my eyes to a lot of things and appreciate a lot more in life in general. So I'm very thankful just for We Ain't Them. So with that being said, I'd like to thank my co-host Ebony. Definitely check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram at We Ain't Them _. Check us out on TikTok at We Ain't Them _. This has been We Ain't Them, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.